What is going on, all you spies? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed. This is Reviewed number 71, and today I'm going to be reviewing Tomorrowland. So before I start this review, I want to address something. For those of you who have been watching this review show, you may have noticed that an episode of Reviewed is no longer available to watch. And that is review number 60, which is the one I reviewed for Toy Story 3. So basically, I was watching a video, because that's what I do in my spare time on online videos. And I was actually going through my playlists on my channel to make sure everything was okay. And then I noticed I was going for my review episodes just to go back and watch memories of when I was started the show. And I noticed that there was episode number 60, which was Toy Story 3, when I reviewed that movie. There was two of those, which was okay, that's weird. So I went to delete one of them, so I would only have one version of the video, because I didn't need two. And I went to delete, and unfortunately that did not mean it would be deleted from the playlist. It wouldn't just be deleted from the playlist, it would just be deleted in general. It would just no longer be available to watch. So I didn't realize that, and that's my fault. There's no way to redo it, because if I do it, there's that date that I did that is no longer gonna happen, so it'll have been no episode. So you want an episode, if you want that review to be back, it's not gonna come back, you can watch other other reviews of Toy Story 3. Hey, if you really want me to do Toy Story 3 again for a review, then I'd have to do it as just a regular review, not part of the series, which sucks. But basically, it's no longer available to watch. I was shocked that I even did that, because it was a stupid mistake, but I can't really fix it. It's just how it is sometimes. It's not really anything I can do about it. I wish I could. I wish there was some way to revive it and make it happen. In fact, I don't even have it on my computer anymore. I deleted it, so it really sucks. Because I was actually really good. I think I actually had to record that thing twice, because I lost the footage of it, so I had to do the entire thing twice, which sucks. But basically, if you're looking for review number 60, which was the episode I did for that movie, it is no longer available. You cannot watch it at all. It's just gone, which sucks. So there's basically a gap between episode number 59 and number 61. So there's a gap. I think there's a gap between. I can't remember which one I did for number 59, but I know that the 61 was towards where it was inside it. No, it was. I can't remember. One of those two. So basically, there's a gap between episode number 59 and number 61, which is where number 60 should have been, which is Toy Story 3. No longer available. You can't watch it at all. It sucks, I know, but that's just how it is. I can't really fix it. I wish I could. I was very distraught when I found out that I actually deleted, not just because I wanted to delete it from the playlist. So I could go back to it and then read, and then I want to have two versions of the same video or the same episode. So I realized it was a big mistake, and I no longer can fix it. I'm sorry about that. I really feel terrible about it. But if you did manage to watch it, great. I love the fact that you got to see the episode, but if not, I am sorry. That's just how it is. I think actually that was the first episode where I changed my intro a little bit, so the number wouldn't show up at the beginning like I did every episode. The first time I actually had the number just kind of float in when I said the number. So anyway, that's something I wanted to address with you. That if you're looking for the episode, you cannot find it because that's my fault. Blame me. Sorry. I can't really fix it. I really wish I could, like I said before. I really wish I could fix it, but that's just the way YouTube works. I can't go back and dig it up again. It's just not gonna happen. So anyway, I thought you should know that if you were looking for it and you wanted to watch it again, or you haven't seen it yet, because that's just how it is. Anyway, so that does it for that little announcement. So on to this review. This movie, wow, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was such a good movie. I think it's one of the best movies that I've seen. At least I never got to see it in the theater, which sucks. But I did see the movie was really good. George Clooney was in it, and Robertson. Not a lot of other big name people, but just those people that I've seen before. The movie, like I said, like in the intro, is called Tomorrowland. It's based off of the Disney ride called Pixar. Brad Bird did direct Incredibles. which is the director of this movie. But basically, it's Tomorrowland, which is the based off the Disney ride, the futuristic Disney ride. Basically, it's the movie starts. I'm not gonna start with the whole plot. I'm just gonna do it very very quickly. So basically, the movie starts out where we have this guy named Frank Walker, who's played by George Clooney, and he is telling a story about this amazing place, and then but we get to see this young boy, the same character, go to this, or at least he tries to like show this person his invention, which is basically the jetpack. It's basically this at the World's Fair, the 1964 World's Fair, which I think I actually got a cigarette or a cigarette thing before. I don't know. I got some of my people have my relatives have gone to that fair. But it basically went to this fair to like present his little thing to Hugh Laurie's character actually. Yeah, Hugh Laurie's in the movie was really fun. And he says that his character says no, and of course, and like it doesn't work. And what's really interesting about the movie is the fact that this little girl, or young girl, I guess say, whose name is Athena. Yeah, I know it's kind of mythology right there. But she's like she likes Frank, but that's like no, you can't do that. So she recruits him to go to this amazing place, this futuristic place full of flying cars and jetpacks and hover technology, this big massive utopia of a world, kind of like Gallifrey in a way from Doctor Who, but like different. So it's like enclosed in this one place. It's like one big city. One of this video is called Tomorrowland, which is actually, but yeah, based off the ride. I think it's based off of the ride. I think it's very different from the ride, but they use a lot of CG and stuff. Because I was watching a little interview with the cast of the movie, and they all use a lot of CGI. They mainly green screen for it, but it's all CGI. But wow, I mean, I was kind of disappointed at how the film got its rating. It was like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the rating site, which is not that good. But there were some really good parts about it. Basically, I think it's Frank's friend, or there's this girl played by Britt Robinson, who discovers this pin. This like pin with a T on it, and every time she takes it, she's transported to this wheat field where she finds this faraway place. Actually, the poster has a thing on it. It's this faraway place, and basically it's Tomorrowland, the big city, the big utopia futuristic city, which I don't know it's supposed to look like, but basically it's that idea, and she actually recruit Frank Walker with the help of Athena, who's actually okay. This is where it's gonna get kind of weird. So basically, earlier in the movie, we see Athena, who's this cute, adorable little girl. Well, I think she's like young. I think she's about 12. I think the movie the cast addresses that not only the actress is 12. I think the characters. I don't know. It's weird. But basically, she starts out in the beginning of the movie when she's helping Frank Walker. Sorry, to this utopia, like this Tomorrowland place. He has to go for like the small world left for all thing kind of thing. It's basically kind of like before Disneyland actually happened. I don't actually know. I think it's supposed to be Disneyland. Could be wrong though. But basically, in the beginning of the movie, well, not only does she take a liking to Frank by like holding his hand and taking him places and like showing him things and showing him Tomorrowland, this amazing place, beautiful. City, really, it's stunning. It's visually stunning. It's like wow. It's like the most incredible thing I've ever seen in film, by far. Obviously better things, but this is by far one of the best, at least in the year that came out, which was 2014, last year, a couple years ago. What's really weird about the character of Athena is that not only is she a robot, like an animatronic robot, but also her fashion change, which is really interesting. Because in the beginning of the movie, she has this kind of close cropped ponytail and like a ribbon and like a light blue ribbon, and then she has like a very short dress. It's like the dress goes. It's not like a big ball gown dress. It's like this. Well, it's sort of like that. It's like a big ball gown dress, but like it ends are like your knees, so it's not that big of a dress, but it looks huge. It looks like a period dress from like the 1800s or something like that, like something that some some ladies would wear back in the old days, the puppy dresses. It's really weird because in the beginning of the movie we have her in this blue dress, which is adorable. She looks so cute. Um, but when we get to the present day with older Frank Walker, suddenly she doesn't have that dress anymore. Suddenly it's this just. I mean, not only does her hairstyle change, which is like, wow, she didn't have the same hairstyle and the same clothes, but basically her hairstyle changes from this close crop ponytail, meaning like it's really scrunched up, and you can see like some little curls up here back, and it's like a ribbon. I found it was really adorable. It's really adorable. It's like it's really like classic style hairstyle from like I don't know the 50s or something. I don't know, something like little girls would wear. I don't know. But basically, you have this other it has different hairstyles, like kind of like I guess Belle from Beauty and the Beast was kind of like this laid back style. And then she has this just regular clothes, which is I found it really interesting because it's like, what happened to the dress? I mean, it's not really significant, but it's like I'm curious because I'm a reviewer and I'm curious about things. But I was curious about why it was like that because I didn't understand what happened. Like when we go from the 60s, which is when it's set. Of course, when you go to the actual like World's Fair and you go to this new dimension, which is Tomorrowland, and you see all those amazing people and amazing structures. You see, Athena, who's this very cute girl, very cute. Like she's adorable. I guess I would say that she's pretty. Sort of if you're a little boy. I'm not okay though. But basically, she goes from this dress to this civilian clothes and different hairstyles. Like, what happened to that? So that's one thing about the movie that I was confused about. Like, I mean, I didn't hate the movie. It's not one thing I didn't like about the movie. It was one thing I was confused about because it didn't make sense. Like, where did that dress go? I mean, I'm a big thing with fashion in the movie industry or the television industry. I'll be so confused by how someone is in different clothes. In certain situations. In this case, I was confused about it, like, what happened to the dress? And I don't know, like, it's been, like, I don't know, 30 years since the events of that particular time period, because now you have this girl who's, basically helping, this boy who's now an older man, George Clooney, basically find this, this place, this Tomorrowland, which I felt was really fun. One thing about the movie that I really liked, I was like, oh my god, that's awesome, is this basically, so when Britt Robertson is the actress, Casey is the name of the character. Casey, when she goes, she wants to find another one of these pins, and she goes to this shop, this like nerd shop, with all this, like, it has like every big, pop culture icon in the world. You have Star Wars, you have, well, it's mainly Star Wars, but you also have like Incredibles. You have actually some Brad Bird's works, but also you have like things like Incredibles, RoboCop, Star Wars, Iron Giant. I think they're Brad Bird ones. I think it's mainly Brad Bird works for animated movies. I haven't seen Iron Giant yet or RoboCop, but always classic sci-fi stuff. Sci-fi, superheroes, stuff like that. It was incredible to watch. You even had the first thing you notice is this, you have the R2-D2, you have this Han Solo frozen in carbonite, figure, you have a stormtrooper, you have everything. In fact, when Casey first enters the shop, and after she enters the shop and asks about the pin, and this lady calls for her husband, who's this weird man who pops out of this door. It's very scientific door thing. And the first thing you hear is Star Wars music, the Star Wars opening title, which is honestly one of my favorite pieces of music. And it was like the best thing you could ever have happen, because it's basically this nerd shop. It's basically this shop that has like all these science fiction, toys. It's amazing. It's this amazing shop, and of course you find out these two characters are actually these bad people, these robots. Because like I think the main problem with the movie, the plot of the movie, was the fact that these are all robots and they're hunting Frank Walker. And of course, one thing if you didn't know already, the main villain. I guess the main villain of the story was David, who's basically Hugh Laurie's character, who's of course British because I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know he's apparently in House. He's American accent, but in regular time he's British. But the daughter, Athena, who's the robot, is actually she's British too. For a very young kid, she's British, and she has this amazing British accent. Like seriously, some kids have amazing British accents. I love the British accent. That's one thing I love about movies. Is I get to see actors with amazing British accents. I love that part about the movie. But also the fact that she has the British accent, but she's also a robot, and like everyone's hunting Frank now because Tomorrowland no longer exists, and you have this pin that can transport you to Tomorrowland, and you have all these characters. You even have this actually in the trailer you have Casey, who's basically this criminal, and when she I think she gets arrested at one point, and eventually her stuff gets back to her, and she discovers it's the pin that's with her. She's like, "This isn't mine." It's like, "What's not yours?" It's like this, and then she touches it, and she says, suddenly there's just this wheat field with Tomorrowland in the distance. And eventually, what does happen is they eventually, after being tracking down Frank, they finally get off Earth and they go to this other dimension, where Tomorrowland used to be, which is basically this post-apocalyptic version of well, it looks similar to it, but it's very different because the Tomorrowland that we envision, basically in the movie, is very beautiful. It's amazing because this movie was a beautiful movie. It was. I mean, it's not just the fact that Athena was there because she's an adorable girl. I think she has also she looked kind of pretty. Yeah, she was pretty. But basically, the movie itself, the Tomorrowland itself, because they had this amazing score, these amazing characters. It's a very interesting plot. I think the one thing that got people down was the plot. It was very, the tone of the plot wasn't very good, but it's a good movie. I liked it a lot. It was a very good movie. Basically, they discovered Tomorrowland, which is basically now no longer a Tomorrowland. And the beginning of the movie is this amazing, kind of like Star Trek-ish kind of city, kind of like Gallifrey meets Star Trek meets futuristic land places with like you have hover cars, everything basically. Everything hovers. Hovering baby strollers, obviously hoverboards, hovering trains that actually, they actually float in the air, which is awesome. Jetpacks. You have these other really cool things that you can take up and they come out of the chute. They're really, if you feel like futuristic movies that have like futuristic lands, it's amazing. I mean, it's supposed to be set in the modern world, but you go to this dimension where everything is futuristic, and of course you find out later that when they finally get to this futuristic world, that it's actually not futuristic. It is, but it's less from what it used to be. Basically, it's Tomorrowland we saw in the beginning of the movie, but very different. It looks somewhat the same, but it's still very like some of the stuff in the movie is no longer there, which sucks. That was one thing that made the city made Frank go, it's not there anymore. It doesn't exist. It's nothing. You can't get to it. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not real. Turns out it is real. According to Athena, it is real. Which I think Athena, by the way, it's a really cleric if you into mythology or not. I believe she's one of the Greek gods. I think she's the god of love, a goddess of love, or something like that. I don't know. But basically, this robot, well, she thinks that Casey is the destiny or something of destiny, and she thinks that she's special, so she somehow lives. I think the whole reason why she's no longer in her classic 60s dress. I think that was the idea, was that it's set in the 60s, so she's a 60s dress kind of thing. I still don't know why that's even a thing. Why she's no longer in her dress and her little hairstyle. What the hell's up with her? I don't know. I'm just confused about that. I think it was really amazing that you have this amazing character. She's a very unique character. I liked it because I felt like she was like a superhero robot because she has all these powers. She has all these she has X-ray vision. She has super strength. All these amazing technologically advanced things. And she's already a robot. Of course, she's very human robot. She's very human-like robot. Because like all the robots are humans, or like they look like humans, but then in reality they are not human. Um, but I mean, honestly, the movie itself was a beautiful, amazing movie. It was just a stunning movie. I mean, Disney. I mean, what's really interesting about the movie itself was the beginning titles, the opening titles, which is basically this classic Disney opening title, but instead of that, there's absolutely no music at all, and it goes into this I think it's supposed to be based off of Tomorrowland, like the actual ride. I could be wrong about that, but it's basically and it goes into it zooms into this Tomorrowland. Basically, it's not the castle; it's actually Tomorrowland itself, which is a fantastic idea for a movie intro. But basically, this movie was such a good movie. It was very mysterious and adventurous. It had that mystery element because you're trying to figure out what happened to Tomorrowland. And you're trying to figure out, oh, there's actually this sequence where David, I guess the antagonist of the movie, I'm guessing, he basically shows, or he brings Athena and Frank and Casey to this atrium place, and this kind of like globe thing that pops over the ground, which is like kind of cool. Basically, Casey moves this like earth thingy around, and it shows all these different kinds of things. Like I think it happened 3 days ago, and then it goes all the way forward in time to this like post-apocalyptic near future, what future could be, because the idea of the movie was to show, you know, all the good things in life, all the what could be in the next, you know, 100 years or something like that. It's just amazing. And you have this a what could be kind of scenario, which is like, oh wow. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a science fiction movie, so it's not actually gonna happen. But it's mean that it's like you never know. Like it could, like this is what the future could be like in the next like 100 years or something like that. Like a post-apocalyptic, everything is on fire. You know, it's terrible, everything like that. And that's the whole thing about them. It's just trying to stop that. The plot was kind of confusing. Although I did understand a lot of it. Basically, this is the little boy. At the beginning of the movie becomes this other character, and goes to Tomorrowland. The beginning of the movie is Tomorrowland. It's just a happy place, futuristic, beautiful city with everything. Like the world's very highly technologically advanced, which is amazing. And then now you go to Tomorrowland now, which is now this same. It's somewhat similar, but like everything's been like destroyed. Everything's not what it was. It's all like wrecked. Everything. Mostly post-apocalyptic city. They're basically the same city, but like post-apocalyptic. It's crazy, like terrible and everything. But basically it's like that. And they have to stop David, who basically is, I believe everyone's a robot there. I believe that's the case. Everyone there is a robot, and actually, it turns out that what he thought at the beginning, not at the beginning of the movie, but like when she. I mean, the stuff that we saw at the beginning of the movie, that was real, but when we see Casey you know, touch the Tomorrowland pin and transported to this what Tomorrowland is, turns out that that's actually a projection of like a recording that's like from months ago, that never actually happened. It's like, oh, it's just a commercial for what could have been like, oh, you wanted to go on this amazing train? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And that wasn't real. And that turns out that's the really, you know, part about the movie was that the whole thing was not real. Like Frank says, oh, it's not real. It's like he's trying to like show that emotion of like it's not real. It doesn't exist. Stop pretending it's real when it's not. And it was really touching. But that's actually this part of the movie that was real touching at the very end of the movie when, I mean, hey, it's been 2 years. Get over it. The very end of the movie, you see Athena, who's basically she's a robot. She's dying. She's a Not only that she's been shot by David, who's her father, but also the fact that, because, I mean, the reason why she's like this, I think the reason why she's no longer had her dress on and her hairstyle is kind of, like, very bellish, is because she was taken apart, and also Frank broke a rule at Tomorrowland, and now he's no longer allowed there, which is interesting. Basically, you have her dying, she's basically dying, and she eventually, you know, confesses her love for Frank. But obviously it's kind of weird because, like, oh, Frank's, like, he's very older, he's very middle-aged, everything. And, of course, I mean, this is someone, I mean, think about this. Athena is a little girl in the beginning of the movie, you know, very, you know, 60 style dress, very cute, hairstyle. She's adorable. Um, and then of course it turns out that there's all these video recordings of the time that the young Frank and young Athena, or I guess still Athena, summoned together, and she says like, oh, he looks at me in that way. I mean, obviously it's like it's a cute moment, but like eventually later on it turns out that she actually loves Frank. It turns out that the 60s timeline, early in the movie, that was actually that whenever Frank was looking at Athena, that was the thing where Athena was like, I actually kind of like this guy, like really I love him. And then in that movie, that's when she dies, and she's dying, and it's so sad because for the first time Frank actually cries over the death of a robot girl, which is really funny. But yeah, overall, I'd say this movie was a really positive movie. It showed a lot of positive of what could be in the world, and it's just an amazing movie. I loved it. It's beautiful. It's stunning. The trailer was very amazing because when you first see the city, it's like, wow, and what could have been city? Like, it's amazing utopia of a world that's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I really thought that was really a powerful element of the story, in the fact that you see at the beginning of the movie, you see this kid inventor who invents this jetpack, this very old school jetpack. Well, by that I mean like this style, it looks like it's from the 60s or something like that, because we don't have jetpacks yet. But what could have been invention, and you have this girl in the background who, just the light illuminates her on her face, and she looks very cute. And she just looks very like hopeful. Like he could be a hopeful person. Like he could bring a lot of amazing things into the world of Tomorrowland, or at least the World's Fair. And she of course she ends up happening. She takes him to Tomorrowland via rides and stuff. But it's like it kind of shows you how amazing a world could be with future and stuff. And it was an amazing movie. It was fantastic. I love it. So rating wise, I would say 100%, 10 out of 10. Should have got more than it did, because it was an amazing movie. It was just amazing. I loved it so much. When I was watching the moment I watched it, like when I was watching it, I mean, it's about 2 hours. Well, with credits, it's 10 minute credits, but it's a good movie. It's really, really well done. The acting is really solid. I don't really know about acting, but I do know I like the characters, the setting, the music. Disney does a really good job, and it was actually the interview I saw where it was like Disney has this amazing talent where he kind of predicted what future would look like, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. I loved it. But the characters were very, very fun. It was a very fun movie overall. It was very enjoyable. I really liked it. And the characters, like Athena, I like how she goes from this cute little girl, this 12-year-old girl, I want to say, with like this dress. Still don't understand what happened there. To the same girl without a dress, and she still remembers that anything could happen, and the fact that that she's a robot, and no one believes her until they finally do. So that was really a really interesting part of the movie. So anyway, I think that does it for this review. I've been going on for quite a while. I'm sorry about that, but I had to get that out of my head because it's just oh my goodness, this movie was so good. I would recommend it to all of you. It's just a good movie. It got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think even 49% somewhere else, but I know it isn't very good as it was, but it is good. It's a really good movie, so I would recommend it very much. So 10 out of 10. Good job. I love it. Wow, this movie was so good. And then, the trailer made it look good. Like what it could have been idea. Like all these amazing, things about the world. So anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. It really is appreciated. Also, if you, of course, I told you at the beginning of the video, you can't watch Toy Story 3 anymore. It's like the video is no longer there, so sorry. But you can click here to go to last week's episode where I reviewed Cliff 3, and you can click the last week's episode before that which is number 69, to go to Cliff 2, doing those reviews. And I'll be back next time for another episode. So yeah, bye.